1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hello again, and welcome back to Red Rising with Sam, Nick, Craig, and Liz. We are officially on part 3 of Morning Star, and this episode we will cover chapters 35 through 41, where the Rising sets out for the moons of Jupiter. We also discuss the housing crisis in the rebellion's secret hideout and a diplomatic problem named Romulus Al-Ra. We briefly reunite with Orion, get deep into politics of the Moon Lords, and watch Darrow and Roque go head-to-head in a bidding war for the Rim. They have no swords, just leverage and history. The following conversation contains major spoilers for Piers Brown's Red Rising trilogy. The series also includes depictions of graphic violence, torture, slavery, sexual violence, and genocide. Listener discretion is advised.
Back.
Wait, is that a cat or a child?
Is that Princess Diana?
That's a child cat.
Oh, poor baby.
So what's
Yeah.
going on with your cat, Nick?
So he was hyperthyroid, and we went ahead and got him there's a cure for hyperthyroidism. It's radioactive iodine treatment, but now he's radioactive because they injected him with radioactive iodine. And I think it's hilarious too, Craig, if that's what you're laughing at. I'm not sure if you're laughing at something
I was thinking,
else.
have you ever seen the Simpsons episode Spider Pig?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
That's kind of what he's like, because as you can tell, he is really angry about it.
Oh, poor thing.
And
Okay.
if I let him in here, he will be right in my lap. So he's
Okay,
just
well,
gotta keep doing that. I'm
Is he
sorry.
the one crying?
Yes.
It's pretty loud.
it's pretty loud. Maybe consider a mute when you're not talking.
I'm definitely gonna do that. And
I don't know, consider it.
so yeah, this is my life for the next 2 weeks. I have to.
God, it takes
everyone.
that long?
Yeah.
For everyone.
Yeah, right. So I have to try to keep him alive and stay away from him.
I feel bad for the little radioactive guy. But anyway, you want to jump in? Craig's on summary.
I think this is a huge part. So
Okay.
we're splitting part 3 into 2 parts. Last episode, we had the unfathomable sadness of losing Ragnar and bringing the Obsidians, especially Sephi the Quiet, into the rebellion's fold. So part 3 opens up with a Karnas quote, which we will not read. The Obsidians have been won over. The Rising is trying to regroup, and Darrow brings Ragnar's body home to Tinos. He and Severo have a sad, quiet moment over their fallen giant, and who is now remembered for protecting rather than killing. And when Severo asks why Cassius, who is sort of part of this reason that Ragnar is dead, is still alive, Darrow says he wants to give Cassius the chance to become a better man. And that is kind of what the Rising is fighting for, in Darrow's opinion. There's no time to grieve, though, because Cassius hands Darrow then some intel. The Jackal has stolen 500 high-yield nukes, and he's willing to burn Mars to the ground rather than lose it, which is not surprising to anybody. So Darrow pivots, and he's not going to attack Mars head-on. Instead, he's going to take the war to the Rim so that the core is split in its war, and then he'll have the Rim on his side, hopefully. He's gonna then destroy Roque's sword armada, which is the invincible fleet. Before he goes, his mom gives him a little box of Lycos dirt and tells him to come back. There's also some weird stuff that we can touch on between secret glances between Mustang and Darrow's mom. 6 weeks later, his fleet finally reaches the moons of Jupiter, and they confront the Moon Lords, specifically led by Romulus Al-Ra. Along this journey, Severo and Victra finally fall for each other. And then Darrow is summoned to Romulus's house. He takes his shoes off at the door, and he walks into a negotiation that turns into an ambush of sorts. Before he ever reaches the table, there's someone else waiting there for him. And that is the end of part A of section 3.
Awesome. That was a very calm, measured summary.
Wow, Craig, you did really good at
I
that.
wrote it down ahead of time.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. we can
I
tell.
feel when I do some
We
reason
can
I'm
tell.
frantic.
Yeah, a lot of mine generally do. I mean, there's so much that happens in this part.
I'm going to open with one
Let's hear
that
it.
you probably didn't think of.
Okay.
I think that flying with grav boots probably looks really nerdy. It's one of the first thing that happens in this chapter. Valkyrie are on these huge griffins, and they look so badass. And then there's
Yeah.
like,
Boop, boop, boop.
whee!
Yeah. Sam off screen is doing like a nerdy.
It's like
Superman.
those
Like, are your
freaking
hands by your
hoverboards.
side? Yeah.
One forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that time that dude was like going around like trying to sell everyone like a bug treatment in our neighborhood, and he was riding around on a hoverboard in like 96-degree
No.
weather, and I was
Oh
like,
my
"You're such a
God.
nerd."
Yeah.
And no, I'm not buying your bug treatment. Yeah, no, Darrow, I'm not buying your bug treatment.
That's too funny.
So anyway, please, I just had to get that off my chest. It's like the first thing that happens and the first thought I had.
Yeah. I agree. I don't know. I think the idea is probably cooler than how it looks in real life.
Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah.
see how Pierce Brown and whatever
I think
company he
battles,
sold this to.
like melee fighting probably looks cool because there's
That's
something to
true.
do with your hands, arms. There's
Yeah.
What do I
kinetic
do with my
energy.
hands?
Right.
But when you're just
You
like
have your-
zooming
You
through
got to
the
do
air,
like, see, I'm not a Marvel fan. I might have this wrong, but doesn't Iron Man like do something cool and not look like a
good
nerd?
point. Well,
That's
because
true.
his propulsion is coming from his hands.
Well, just
Yeah.
act like
His
it's
right
coming
hands
from your
and
hands
feet.
too, then, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Guys, just act like you're Iron Man. Iron Man exists in this universe.
That's
Yeah.
true. It does.
You know who is cool on the grav boot topic is the Moon Lords don't use grav boots. They use skip boots.
Oh yeah. See?
Which maybe is cooler.
Yeah, probably.
Remind
I
me what
imagine
that
it being
is?
cooler.
Use
What's
those
the
because
difference?
the grav
Skip
boots look
boots are
stupid.
really, skip boots are lightweight and they don't show on thermal signatures. And you skip with them effectively, but you skip up to 60, I don't know, miles per hour. So you can't go as high, but you can go for
That
days
sounds
and days.
nerdier.
Okay.
Like a grasshopper.
I think it sounds great.
I'm curious, is that also a thing?
Exactly, because then you're just like, ha.
All right.
Is that also a thing because, they're on moons which have less gravity, so it's more feasible? Or is it just that they like it because it's less detectable or something like that? Or are they
I think
just like,
they're assassins. The people that we meet who are wearing skip boots are
Mhm.
gotcha.
assassin characters. So
Yeah.
Anyway,
this is
but we
very
just skipped.
sad reading. Yeah. Sorry.
Yes, we
but that was like
did.
part B. But yeah, the funeral for Ragnar was really sad. Bringing him back. But being the shield of Tino's. I didn't listen, so I've been reading all of these back. So like the words, I'm like,
I
how
always
did
thought
they
it
say
was
that?
Tynos, and then or whatever, and then hearing Tim Gerard Reynolds be like Tinos, I was like, oh, that makes sense. I was in the same boat for the longest time.
Yeah. But yeah, that was
There is a note about Ragnar about how he starts to like decompose a little bit. So that's tough. I hate to bring that up, but it came in
wait,
with
is
like a
there really?
little. Yeah, because
He
he was
starts to smell.
cold when he lived,
Yeah.
or when his
In
body was in the
Asgard.
Asgard land. But it's what I liked was this little bit of writing on page 275. If you're following along, Pierce says that the reason that they have trouble keeping him solid is because refrigeration units play second zither to the water purifier's air reclamation system
Second
instead
zither.
of second fiddle.
Fiddle. Yeah,
That's
I caught that.
fun.
It is
That's
fun.
Fun.
It
Use
is
of
fun.
in-world language.
yeah.
This is a chock full of stuff, but I'm just picking out the little pieces I like.
Well,
No,
I'll
that's
follow
good.
up.
Someone please take the reins.
I'll follow up on what Liz said. Severo's quote to Sephi the Quiet is, "Welcome to Tinos. I'm Severo Albarca, blood brother of Ragnar Valaris. These are his brothers and sisters." He motions to the Howlers. "With your permission, I'd like him to wear his cloak," which is sweet.
Yeah, that was
And
really
Sephi's
sweet.
generous enough to allow it.
Extremely generous, yeah. But we start getting hints that Sephi is like, there's a lot more going on, deep waters, as Darrow would say.
Mhm.
She is not just a quiet person.
And some of
She's
those hints are
Calculating.
I don't know the hints off the top of my head.
The hints I can think of are in the other parts.
yeah,
too much in this
which are
case.
spoilers, so
Yeah.
we can't discuss. But
Oh, I
I
see.
think
That's why we can't discuss them.
well,
Not
we
'cause
start to
you
get
don't
Easter
remember.
eggs, yeah, in this book.
Talk to me about these looks between Mustang and Darrow's mom that you don't understand.
Well, I never thought about it.
Okay.
Is this a spoiler, or do we learn at the end of book 3? We do, so we can talk
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Mustang had a kid while Darrow was in prison, which is a spoiler in so much as it's the end of this book, so we can talk. Do we think Mustang talked to Darrow's mom?
That's what you're getting at.
That's what I'm getting at. Is like,
Okay.
why are they looking at each other so much? What's going on here?
Thank you. So we know that the Telemenaces helped out at the very least,
Right.
right?
Yes. They know.
That is a great question that I don't know if we ever get the answer to.
Yeah, I don't know. I do know that story she told about Darrow was weird. I was like waiting for the rest of the story. I'm like, okay. And
What's the story, Liz?
it was like, so they were trying to figure out like a story to tell. And she just goes about how like Darrow, it's sweet. He had like his dad's watch and he ended up selling it so that he could get, so that he could get goods for them. But like there was no, I don't know. It just was like, okay. And then she's like, all right, everybody go to bed.
Yeah.
And she left like Darrow and Mustang to talk, but I wasn't sure what the purpose of it was.
That was cute.
That was a cute scene because everybody was kind of swapping stories about Darrow when he wasn't there, and he kind of walks in on this happening. And they tell your favorite story, Craig.
Which is?
When they go in the swamp. Mustang's like in the process of telling the swamp story from the Institute when he walks in. The lock, excuse me.
Yeah. That is my favorite. It is really cute. There's a lot of in part 3 and 4, maybe just part 3, a lot of reflecting on things that happen in book 1.
I think it's mostly part 3 because part 4 we kind of get some like heavy hitting action.
Yeah.
This is definitely like action wise the down part where we're getting a lot of this. Like I like it a lot, but it's a lot of this other like downtime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Building.
It's like the nerve before a battle, they're just like reminiscent. I genuinely reading this part initially, the first time I read it, what I thought that like for sure we were losing like major characters in this book. Like, I mean, I won't spoil it with like, we'll get into it, but I was like prepared. Like it just kind of is building to like, okay, shit is going to go down hard. Like Darrow and Severo talking about, like life and like what life would have been like had they not chosen this like fight, and that they've never had like a normal day in their lives, and they just kind of like, what would that be like? I was like, oh my god, I was so tense. Like this is gonna end badly for one or both of them.
Yeah, Severo like finally says he wants kids. He's growing out his goatee because he knows Victor liked Rolos. Like all these little bits are like, no, I don't want to learn more about you. I'm worried about it.
No, it's a good build-in parts.
It's interesting because I think when I think back to this part, and I'm lumping both parts of part 3 together here, it's a lot of conflict still that we get. It's just a lot more passive conflict, if that makes sense, as opposed to like kinetic, like the fighting that we usually get for Red Rising. And I think it's really, really well done, and it sets up a lot, and just it really flows well together. I think from going from this emotional, like some of these emotional scenes, some of these more fun scenes, to what we're getting into next. I think really there is a point in every book where you can't put it down anymore. And I think the fun and the like feel good part of this is like, oh yeah, that's coming soon after this.
Yeah, the plot also thickens.
Yeah.
Like in the first part and a half to 2 parts, we felt a little whiplash. Like now we're here, now we're there, now we're here, now we're there. And it
Now it's
wasn't
like
all super connected. And this is the part where like the seeds that were planted in the first part, some of them really like grow and get nice and plump. And then other ones you're like, oh shit, like that connects to this and that. Like there's just a deeper feeling, I think.
A lot of consolidating and I think it's a lot of like plot lines, storylines that have been in the back of your mind that you've been like, hey, how's that going to come into play? And it's like, oh, we're about to start seeing that come into play.
We also get a lot of high quality telemanus, like you're part of the family.
Yeah,
stuff,
I think that's part of why I love this part so much.
Which is really, I mean, we've talked about it before, but it's just like constantly sweet and reassuring and safe, And we have this cute little thing. Sorry for interrupting, Nick.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Mustang is this is in the moment where Mustang and Mom and Kieran and Dancer, everybody's hanging out. And Darrow is feeling out of sorts. And Mustang says, you want to build a world for them, speaking to Darrow, for your mother, for Kieran's children. I understand that. When I chose to negotiate with the Sovereign, I was trying to do the same thing, protecting those I love. The Telemanuses share a glance.
There's a lot in that glance.
There's a lot in the glances, which I didn't pick up on necessarily in the first read.
Yes, but that one
I was clueless in the first read.
Me too. You don't see a baby
on.
coming. No, yeah, that's out of left field.
That's like how, what are the chances of that?
Yeah, I do wonder now I feel like I have to go back and look at the mom glances because I truly thought those were more just like, wow, like there's a world where Mustang and Darrow's mom don't like each other. And I really thought that those were more just confirming like these two are getting along.
Yeah.
But I like your theory because Darrow's mom is also highly intuitive.
Yeah.
And so that it might be something she didn't actually tell Darrow's mom. You know, it could just be something she knew. There is a funny line, and it's so not Darrow's fault, but right after that scene, they're kind of like Mustang and Darrow are left alone, and then everybody decides to go to bed. And Darrow says, like, I just don't know what it is between us. There just seems to be something between us. And I'm like, you are literally a father. Like, he's like, is there something between us?
Right?
Yeah. A child.
Yeah. But he doesn't know. I mean,
no, I don't blame
for some
him,
reason,
but it's just like,
for some reason now I'm thinking of Darrow singing Something There from Beauty and the Beast. Like that song where there's something there that wasn't there before. That song. I'm just picturing Darrow singing that.
Yeah, like he seems to think he's in a very flirty phase, and it's like it's very beyond that. Buddy.
Right.
Like
it does feel flirty.
This is established.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, I will say though, this. Oh yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say this part also kind of brought out everybody, and like I get it, but like it did bring out everyone's what's the word I'm looking for? Not like hesitancy a little bit, and like a little like colorism, a little racism. Just like with the other people, right? Like even the Telemanises were like very like, do we want Obsidians running around in Mars? Like
that's true.
Cousin Amok, like Dancer's like, I'm not sure about Mustang and like the Golds having all this power. So like even amongst themselves, Darrow's just kind of like, well, they'll all get along. At least to me, it feels like his mindset is like they'll all sort it out, but like they're all individually like, I don't know about these people.
That's a theme throughout this whole part.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like later in this is a part B of part 3 thing, but after he like combines colors in the ship, he's hoping they like party together, and of course they don't. They just hang out with their color, and he's like, "This is progress." So.
Yeah.
I promise I'm steering away from spoilers here, but it is very interesting to see what themes get set up here that will continue to stick around with us. Because it's a lot that's set up here, for sure.
I have a lot of spoiler notes. I hope you all are saving them.
Well,
because we're not going to say them today, but we're going to say them in a separate episode.
A spoiler on its own that you have a lot of
keep
spoiler
on
notes.
storing
I'm blaming
those
you, Sam.
spoilers
It's not me.
We do. I want to touch on this. We do get the Mustang reminiscing about the Jackal as a kid drawing the mazes.
Oh yeah,
right.
Which is extremely creepy and not at all surprising. And for the people who haven't read and listen, the Jackal Adrius would give his sister Mustang mazes to solve,
and they were always shit.
And she was always, of course, she's a genius and she's older than he is, so she would figure them out. And then she caught him once after she had figured out a maze, and he was like beating himself. He was like berating himself in his room because he had failed to create a maze that nobody could solve. And so he did that over and over again until finally he created a maze that she couldn't solve. And he's just like a weird...
Could she actually not solve it, or did she act like it?
Genuinely couldn't.
Okay, I couldn't remember. Thank you.
Yeah. Or she said she couldn't, which... Yeah. So
yeah, she describes him as, what did she say? I wrote it down. An evil old ghost in a porcelain doll. There's some really good dialogue
what a
in
metaphor.
this chapter. Yeah, and that's so good.
Yeah.
So true.
We also get a little bit of fun here with Cassius too, right?
Yeah, let's talk about Cassius.
Yeah, I love this.
Where they're basically just like, all right, why is he still here? Let's talk to him. And I don't completely remember it all. If somebody can take the lead on that, but I just remember it being really fun.
We love it.
It was, I mean, they placed him right. It was strategic on their, well, I guess dancers really. They were like, because Darrow's like, don't leave him out. Like, just like put him in a private room. And Dancer's like, hell no. He's going in the middle of all of the low colors that are like in the hospital, right? All recovering. And then he also gets no painkillers, but that's just like, that was a vote amongst the low colors of who gets the painkillers, and
which
it was
is
like
cute.
That was really nice of like, okay,
take that gold.
Like, like they can work together and be just like, diplomatic, lack of a better word, but that was really nice. And then Cassius does give him like really good intel too about sort of what the Sovereign and the Jackal are dealing with, which really helps Darrow later when he is with the Moon Lord. So that was really, but that was just a cute scene
Yeah.
of like him and Cassius. Yeah.
Everything, always.
Yeah.
Every scene with
Yeah.
Cassius is cute and heartwarming. Even back, if we do a throwback to book 1 where he's about to stab Darrow, like even that moment feels so close and intimate and sincere. I love all the Cassius moments. I think we're meant to.
I really love looking at them all in retrospect because I agree with you, Craig, on that point that it all does feel so sincere. But on first read, it doesn't, right? And on first read at this point, and throughout this book, I love that there's the question of, can they really trust Cassius? I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Can they really trust Cassius? And like, you're getting vibes from Cassius where he feels sincere and you like what he's doing and you want to be able to trust him. But as we see throughout the book and of course throughout the entire trilogy, it's, can we believe what we're feeling with that? And I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is wild that Cassius was like, I truly did not think Virginia would shoot. I'm like, I still don't understand why he's like.
No, it makes perfect sense. He was like, I'm me. Like, how could she? Actually, Victra has a really great quote too about Cassius that they were tripping on mushrooms or something,
For like a
and
week.
Darrow looked at her, and she was like, "It was before I met you. Plus, have you ever seen Cassius with his shirt off?" Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'm not surprised that he thought Mustang wouldn't shoot.
They're all just like Eskimo brothers and sisters.
Yes,
the
they
goal.
A
are.
little too close, to be honest. Because this is a big world, you know?
Yeah.
Or at least it should be, right? I guess
I don't
not.
know.
I guess like Mars is like a small world.
It's there are only so many golds. You go to the
Right.
same
And
party.
that's the other thing, yeah. And you're
And they're
also
all the same age. Yeah. They kill off the weak ones. So they're like, all right.
and you're all
Yeah.
trying to get favor with the same people. So
Mhm. They run in the same circles too much.
Yeah.
But I love just this like pride that Cassius has and this like vanity that we're expected to believe that is Cassius. He's vain, right? But he's not. And I love that. And I love that you absolutely don't catch it on the first read, or at least I absolutely didn't catch it on the first read. It took a lot more for me to realize that the vanity is just something that he's like layering on thick on the top to cover for a lot of other stuff. And I love that. Cassius is such a complicated character and we're in the thick of it here.
Yeah. That totally makes sense. Because even like when Darrow spoke to Severo about Cassius, right? Because Severo's like, why are you keeping him? Like, why is he like, why is he here? And Darrow's just like very much like, he's just been lied to. Like he's been manipulated. He's been like, he just hasn't had a chance to truly live life as his own. He's always kind of like on someone else's whim. And I thought that was like really cute of Darrow to like notice and like also want to help him like through that and just live his life, Cassius.
Sam, how did you feel about this
Mhm.
this Easter egg, this nugget of information from Cassius about Adrius? And
I really liked how it played out. Like Cassius like gets serious all of a sudden. I guess it's a pretty serious scene, but he's like, I need you to answer something for me and I need you to tell me the truth no matter what. And Darrow is expecting something, it seems, sort of like deep and interpersonal. And it turns out he's just asking, like, did the Sons of Ares raid this, like, H2567? I don't know. And Darrow is like, no. What even is that? And he's like, oh, it's just like hundreds of nuclear warheads and they were stolen. And we blamed it on the Sons of Ares, but it seems like it was Adrius. And so that's like a really big revelation. I didn't, when I read it the first time, think like, oh, that's going to get used later. You feel kind of scared. Like, uh-oh, like, do we have to get the stuff from the Jackal? Like, I don't know. But you find out in part 3, part B, how Darrow's able to like manipulate that information. And it's really fun. Like, it's very fun to see like what Darrow and Mustang's plan is. But yeah, in that moment, I'm confused too in that moment because I'm thinking like, okay, so is Cassius like, has he given up? Like, is he going to do a Roque? Because Golds are like, I'd rather kill myself. So is he just going to give up information and kill himself? Is this him like changing to the other side? The scene ends without resolution on like what's going to happen with Cassius. But what did you guys think was going to happen?
That is I shouldn't go. because I'm struggling to discuss this without discussing
my
spoilers.
gosh.
I know.
I
It's
roll.
possible. It's possible.
I know it's possible, but it's such a good conversation to have with the spoilers involved too. I believed him. I think I even believed him at the onset, the first read. It was just too. Again, there was something authentic that Craig you picked up on with Cassius, and it was still there, even though we had no real reason to believe him. But there was something there, and he's just such a well-written character that it's, again, like seeing through that vanity, it's seeing through everything and realizing that at its core, Cassius is always someone who wanted to be honorable. He might have been misguided about what honor meant, but I think this is something that I've kind of touched on with this book. We're seeing that shine through here, and I think that's part of the reason why I believed him on the first go. It's like throughout the lead up to this, we've seen him doing things that are actually honorable, and it's like, okay, it feels like this is the way this is going.
When has Cassius ever lied? I don't think he has.
I mean, he lied when he took Darrow to the riverbank to stab him.
Yeah, that was a lie.
That's true.
That was a big lie.
That was a big lie. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
But he doesn't like to lie, and he's also not good at it.
And it was obvious, right? Like if you had just woken up and I was like, "Come with me," you'd probably come with me. You know,
and,
like you're
and if
sleepy.
I killed your brother a few months before and I'd been lying about it,
right.
There was a certain level of suspicion we thought Darrow should have had in that moment that he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Again, to get into some stereotypes, Cassius is like a D1 athlete. You know, like he's just good-looking dude, not the best at school. Yeah, not a lot going on up here. He just wants to have friends. You know, he's got like pretty picky parents.
He just wants to have the most epic senior year
ever, dude. So I don't. It doesn't feel challenging at all to believe Cassius in this moment. I think we want this brotherhood thing to happen between Darrow and Cassius.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because it is so, I think he's so well written, because I agree with you, Craig. I agree. Like, we believe him here. We trust him here. And it makes what's coming later in this book feel weird, right? Feel weird. And I don't want to jump into that too much because we'll discuss it later, but it always feels like there's something off later on. And of course there is, but it's so interesting how that's done, because it's there's something here with Cassius's character that makes this feel right and that feel wrong. And I don't know how to explain it other than that.
We also get into some lore, which is kind of also sprinkled throughout. About 60 years ago, Octavia, who's now the Supreme Chancellor. What's her title?
Sovereign. Of the Galactic Senate.
Of the Galactic Empire. I am the Senate. Octavia ices the planet of Rhea.
Well, not ice, like...
Well, turns it into
ice.
Ice, dude. She uses nuclear weapons to bomb it until it's uninhabitable.
And that's how we get the Ash Lord too, because she basically uses I can't remember what the Grimace, Grimace and the Ash Lord, and he's called the Ash Lord because he turns Rhea to ash.
Yeah.
And I think this is some important lore that we're getting here, given the next half of this part, given that we're about to see the Moon Lords, we're about to see the people who were impacted by this, and it's really setting up the conflict that's coming, and it's more of that like passive conflict. And it's like Craig was saying, it's lore, and it's lore that we haven't really seen expanded upon this much, and it's really good put right here.
Yeah, it's excellent right here, and it leads us to what happens in part B of part 3. When we meet the Moon Lords. So anyway, I like this scene.
That's very important background.
Talking about it, I forget. Like
Cassius is saying, like, these nuclear weapons that were stolen allegedly by the Sons of Ares are on the way to the Rim.
Yeah,
from the core. So you would stop, you'd pick up the bombs. You know, if you were
right.
If you were on your way to ice another moon.
It's so interesting here because I feel like we can see the dots connect in Darrow's head here. And Cassius is like drawing the line between them. Like, hey, the Jackal stole these bombs. And hey, Rhea and was destroyed by bombs. And Darrow's like, wait, I can maybe use that.
Yeah. And then we have this final moment where Cassius or Darrow says, "You're afraid we might win," to Cassius. And Cassius says, "When it was Sevro's war, no. But now,
Poor
yeah."
Yeah.
So,
good point. I forgot about that.
And
that was a good point.
Why did they turn Rhea into ash?
The Moon Lords' rebellion.
They wanted to be separate from the Rim.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're 600 million kilometers from the core, from Luna, but they have to pay taxes and, ask for the right to strip mine
Yeah, so they started
asteroids. Yeah.
So
throwing
like
all their
DC
tea.
taxation without
Yeah.
representation.
That's exactly right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Shout out
They
to DC
decided
residents.
to shoot all their tea into space, and Sovereign was like, "Can't be
That's
having
right.
that again." I'm just
Exactly.
making that up completely.
So then we get into everybody wants to torture Cassius.
Mhm.
Yeah, everybody.
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 Yeah. And they even wish for the Severance oracles. I'm like, damn, that's hardcore. And they're like, we must know if this is truth or not. It's interesting that Darrow, I feel like, took Cassius at his word, right? Like he was like, but like he's like relaying it to everybody else, and like most of them are like, I don't trust it. I wouldn't. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. It kind of, for the way they end up using it, which we'll of course get to next episode, it doesn't even actually matter if it's true. There's enough, like they have a video, you know what I mean? Like there's evidence that suggests it later, right?
I think the way that they use it in the later part, I think it was just like, he just more so just like didn't assign the right owner, right? To like it. It was like, yeah. So I think
that's why I mean, like it doesn't, well, I guess what I'm saying is it doesn't matter if the nuclear part is true. They send agents to the location and like verify that the location exists.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it does. And of course it is true. I mean, it does end up panning out that it's true. But in order to manipulate Romulus.
Yeah,
right,
well, that's part B.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get to that, I guess.
Yeah, we'll get to that next
We'll
part. I
talk
think it
about it.
did matter that it was true.
Okay.
And we'll get to that then. I guess that's the conversation for next week.
For next week. What else
Next
happened in
week.
this part?
Well, so remember in book 2, everybody was looking at Victra and saying, Victra doesn't belong, including, everybody was.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we have
Except for
Victra
Roque.
standing up, except for Roque. Yeah, what a good
Yeah.
person Roque is. And now we have Victra showing all the scars on her body and saying, like,
That's
That's
such
right.
a badass.
it's not gonna work. You can't torture Cassius, which is awesome.
Yeah, that was a cool scene. She does a real mic drop moment.
She does.
Yeah.
I
And she
mean-
hates Mustang still. So she's always,
Yes.
at every turn, she's trying to like throw some verbal daggers Mustang's way.
Yeah.
Victor has so many mic drop moments, really.
She's an incredible character.
She is.
Yeah, she is.
And so finally at the end of this part, we get the plan from Darrow that we're gonna go to the Rim and we're gonna convince the Rim to join us and we're gonna destroy the Sword Armada, which is controlled by Roque, our favorite betrayer.
Yes, and just pointing out, the Golden Sun plan was to have Darrow work his way up to be sovereign in sort of a peaceful, from a Gold's perspective way. He was going to kill his boss, but they didn't mind that kind of thing. So gain power semi-peacefully and then like try to slowly turn the
Tide.
sentiment and the tide towards equality. This is like the opposite of that plan. This is like, we're going to bash in, kill the sovereign, take over the society, and
Yeah.
then we'll just have the society now.
Yeah.
So yeah, just pointing that out.
Yeah. And I
We,
think he points it out too, right?
He does. And
Yeah.
Liz and I, like a few episodes ago, were talking about how like we didn't love the idea of the original plan because it's just the same old. But now that we're here, I do
Yeah.
see the value of that original plan.
I
far as
do.
just, how do you feel, Liz?
I made I'm like, imagine all the human lives that are wasted on this. I'm like, this is insane. Like, and
Unbelievable.
I don't want to put it all on Severo because like they all had a part to play. But had he not shown that video of Darrow turning from red to gold, I feel like half of this could have been managed better. It just because now it turned into a full blown like color war, right? Like it was always going to kind of lead that way, but not as rapidly as it did. And also like, Darrow's fault too, because like he has, and we go into this when we get into like the battle scenes, but it's just they waste so much life. I'm like, This is insane, but I guess it's war. That's what
I think you bring up a very interesting point, Liz, and it's the showing Darrow's carving. I think in the end, showing it at some point was a good move. I think it got the lower colors to rally. I think it was a card played too soon. I think
Yes.
it was something they could have really, but at the same point, they thought Darrow was dead. So that's weird. But if it's something they could have held on to and used it at an opportune moment, because when they used it, it's like, yes, you did get reds and lower colors to rally around you. But like you're mentioning, the golds were just like, well, this is disgusting.
Right. Yeah. And it really comes out, right? Like when they're having that conversation with like Roque and in the next
that
part.
we're going to get to, yes.
Yeah.
There are some plot points where I feel like I'm not sure your hand was really forced on that one. And we'll get to that in the next part.
Yeah.
But as far as like releasing the video, I actually do kind of think Sevro's hand was forced there because Darrow's only going to be a part of the news cycle for a little while. And how he was before. You know what I mean? Like, without being some sort of like god, they're going to forget about him really fast. He was just a gold who like tried to get some power for a little while. That happens constantly.
Yeah.
So he needed to capitalize on the fact that he had this public execution. He didn't have much time. He had to make a decision. I support it, unfortunately. I do think it caused a lot of havoc, but I don't know that he had a better choice.
That's a great point.
It is a good point. I still think they could have waited a little and used it more strategically. But like they didn't know that he was dead, I suppose.
Yeah,
but
hindsight
like,
being 2020.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like that's a lot of things with this like series that makes it good. It's like the decisions that they make, right? Like you can question it now, but like if you were in their position with the information that they had, what decision would you have made? But I don't know.
Also, Sam, I want to get back. You made a really great point there. And you're like, there is only going to be in the news cycle unless he's like a god. And what do? Is they basically make him like a god. Right. Just like they make Ragnar like a god for the Obsidians. But they don't do that one on purpose. Ragnar just, dies.
He's awesome.
But both of these are situations where they kind of capitalize off of deaths and apparent deaths to deify two people that really helps unite the Rising and make it stronger and might or might not have implications later because, what have you made these people into, really?
Yeah,
good point. Good point. On page 306, a lot happens and is stuffed into this page. So the first thing, which I didn't pick up, 306, is it's just like an offhanded comment that Scarface and the Pit Vipers, who are run by Uncle Neril, this is one paragraph, are going to go and sabotage the Jackal's deep space communication relays. Then immediately pivot to this intimate moment where Darrow's mom gives him a box of dirt that Dio, Eo's sister, has gotten from the mines. And then finally, a moment where Darrow says to Dancer, "I love you," which in Red culture, guys don't tell other guys that they love them. So it's extremely sweet because Darrow's very much a father figure. So
Dancer.
I'm sorry. Dancer. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
anyway.
I forgot about that scene and I'm looking at it and he's like, "And I love you, just so you know." And he goes, "Bloody damn." He mutters, eyes tearing up. "I thought you were a killer. You gone soft on me, boy."
Really sweet.
That's really sweet. Yeah.
It's great. It is great.
And I did have that as a nice segue for Neril Watch.
Ooh.
He does appear here and there throughout this chapter, and I do want to take advantage of that. And the part you just mentioned is a lot of times he's appearing more by proxy of his Pit Vipers, because in the beginning you hear that, when they return back from Ragnar Land, the Pit Vipers are going to be Mustang's personal guard. Darrow's a little concerned about Mustang because everyone hates her except for him, so he puts Neril's boys on it. And then Neril also shows up when they're in the little canteen and everybody's swapping stories. And he interjects with a few like funny things, but he's not really central to that scene. Just wanted to bring him up though. He's showing up. He's doing the work. He's out there.
Yeah, he's boots on the
Neril
ground.
Watch.
Thank you. Yeah, boots on the ground. Is that kind of it?
Well, when is Rollo mentioned? We sent some voice memos to each other yesterday about Rollo.
I didn't see that. Yeah.
Does he get mentioned again? The only time I remember him being mentioned was as they're getting ready to take over, like go after Quicksilver.
Yeah, and then when they talk about how Sevro's growing a goatee, but you were like on Rollo the other day.
Wait, no, guys.
Wait, is the goatee in this part or is that later?
We get chapter 40 and 41, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we're not done. We got time.
What's 40, 41 again?
They go. Go ahead.
No. Sorry, no. This was something I was mentioning where we go through with this. We go through 41. Yeah.
Yeah. So they go and they arrive on planet to visit with Romulus. And so the first part is them sitting and waiting for Romulus to show up to this meeting spot. And he doesn't show up. His sister shows up. and Severo is incredibly rude to
Oh
her.
my lord.
Like,
Not diplomatic.
embarrassing.
At all. I was like, Severo.
Yeah. But these are like scary people who are physically different than core golds because of the gravity or lack thereof and the radiation.
And their
I don't know if
ancestry,
anybody has thoughts.
they like hold themselves to a higher standard because they consider themselves
Right.
more closely ancestrally linked to the Iron Golds,
Ari
who like
Kuros,
yeah, originally took over.
It was
The world.
Selenius and is it Akira?
Vila. Sorry. Vila's the sister.
Akari.
Is Romulus's.
I was talking
Oh,
about
you mean the originals?
Yeah, the original. It was Akari.
Okay.
Akari
You
is
just
the
showing
one.
off, Nick? Because that was
I
nice.
know.
Who's the original?
Who is it again? Is it
Akari?
They take a lot of pride in it, you know?
I'm just jealous
They
that I
do.
didn't say Akari.
we are all jealous. We are all jealous. Yeah.
And we get some scary moments, not scary, but we get hints that, again, Sephi is catching up
Mhm.
really quickly. She spent her entire time on this 6-week journey watching battle videos of how
Yeah.
golds operate and like practicing. She sleeps with her pulse fist.
Mustang warns Dara of her and is like, be careful. To be fair, right? Like, I think she's watching this all happen, right? From her perspective, she's watching this all happen. They've like liberated her from Ragnarland. Yeah, from her land.
Ragnarland.
From her land. She's seen how the golds are just kind of going against each other, right? Like they're fighting, but there's no unity. There doesn't seem to be a sense of, okay, this is what the future holds and this is how we're going to sort of separate things. It's all just, okay, we want to make sure that we are free, but what does that mean? And then with even the squibble that they had of like, okay, she can, obviously she's not dumb, right? Like she can tell that the Telemenaces are not very trusting of her and like her crew, right? Like, they're nobody, like they're new compared to like Ragnar that they're used to, and they're just wasting lives. So I think I understand from her perspective where she's thinking of how will I protect my people? Like how in all of this, what path do I carve for them? So I don't fully blame her, honestly. I'm like, yeah, I would do the same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's got to
I mean,
make something
there's
for herself.
a lot of wisdom in her ethos of like being the quiet, like
Yeah.
taking things in, not giving away too much. And I think one of the hints you get, aside from the more obvious ones about like studying battle and liking the new fighting technology, is just that she's so personality-wise different from Ragnar. And I remember on first read, kind of up until these moments, thinking like, but maybe there's like a little Ragnar in there somewhere. Like she's their
Right.
brother
That's what
and
Darrow
sister.
thinks.
Yes, exactly. That's what Darrow thinks. And he rides on that for a while, but she's cold as ice.
Yeah.
She is
Yeah.
cold. And
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
her personality. Like we see as time goes on that like there isn't a lot of warmth there. It's just not unlike Ragnar, who's like an extremely warm person.
Yeah, very charismatic.
I think Dara like lucked out with the crew that he had surrounding him initially from like the Institute. And I think he holds on to that so much that like everybody has a bit of good in them. And it's like some people just don't.
No, if I'm saying Sephi's bad or good.
Not
I think
like-
I'm just
yeah.
saying, yeah, she
just has her own motivations.
Yes.
And they are
and
not tied to Darrow.
And I think
No,
that's
nor Ragnar, really.
And that
Yeah.
right there is part of, I think, what Mustang's warning was, is that she's not
Yes.
Ragnar. She doesn't have the same ideals. And also, look at what it took to build those ideals in Ragnar, you know? And so it's kind of this warning that she's never going to, so don't hold her to that standard.
To a similar point, though, that we've been making, Darrow invests time in people, and then they love him. Cassius is a good example. We see the opposite with Roque, right? He's made there have been so many times when he could have gone to Roque and he didn't do it. And in fact, in the next part, we get the moment, well, we won't talk about it. He doesn't invest in Sephi at all, really. She's not hanging out in his crib, you know, drinking whiskey and watching vids.
Yeah.
So
To
this
be
could
fair,
be
there's,
another
like,
missed
no
opportunity.
time. Yeah.
Well, he makes time for the people that he cares about.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of people now.
Yeah.
Like,
Like as his family grows and the time shrinks, it's like
The
And
Telemonases
everybody
are
keeps
now
looking-
included.
Yeah, and everybody keeps looking to him for like guidance. So it's like he's also got to like strategize.
we got to finish this up because I think we
Yes.
have more to say about part 2.
Let me say 2 more things.
Okay.
So things that we did not, I think, realize at the end of book 2, Rebus Al-Ra was killed at Darrow's Triumph, who was the arch-governor of the Outer Rim, or just the Rim.
In addition.
And the daughter, whose name I'm forgetting, of Romulus.
Don't remember.
Or his
Sorry,
niece.
daughter. It's his
Yeah,
niece.
you mention her.
Niece.
Yeah.
And she's there for like holiday and just to be at the core, and she has a very bad death.
Mm-hmm.
So those are mentioned, just for everybody's awareness. And then finally, somebody shows up and is like, hey, Romulus isn't coming here. You got to go to Romulus's house. And so he does. Thank you, Nick. And we are left at the end of this part with there are lots lined up outside the door of Romulus's house. And I think we meet, who are the two characters we were saying we meet? The children.
Sarah, his daughter.
Sarah. Seraphina.
No more to say. Nope, just Sarah.
Nothing.
They don't mention her. They don't mention anything beyond that.
When Romulus walks out, he's like, Seraphina.
Seraphina.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'll allow
and then
it.
They start calling her Sarah.
My finger is on the mark button.
You should mark it.
No,
Always
I think
be
we're
marking.
good.
And that's where we're left. We kind of have this cute moment where we meet Romulus for the first time. He's instantly charismatic. Darrow immediately wants him to like Darrow. And we have Sarah.
Wait,
who
you think Romulus is charismatic?
Yeah, it says that.
It does.
Yeah, it says
he's just so cool.
He is,
infamously
he's really
charismatic.
Cool.
Wait,
yeah,
everybody thinks
awesome
Romulus
guy.
is cool?
That's what the book says.
I love Romulus.
I love
He's one of my favorite characters in
Oh
the book.
gosh, we're gonna have to get into this then next. I didn't get that.
Yeah, love him. But anyway, we are left. That's the end of the part. Or that's the end of part B, part A of part 3. Jesus, mark this part.
I think it's a good place to stop. There's a little.
Yeah.
We go to 42, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is supposed to go to 42. There's a little with Roque. They do talk to Roque in 42, but I think we can push it.
Roque is the
41.
beginning of the next part.
Yeah.
42 is next. Okay, great. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
So
ratings?
This is a 3.
This is a 2. 2.5 for me.
3.5. There's some good banter in here.
One thing I did appreciate,
important.
which we didn't mention because it's fine, is in the previous part we saw how everything breaks down because no one's doing anything they're good at. And this is where Mustang's finally on logistics. She gets them to Rhea in like no time. Yeah. Like Sevro's really coming into his own as like the warlord arm on a leash. Darrow's leading.
Guerrilla.
Yeah. So anyway, I just that's worth mentioning because it's a brief fleeting moment.
I think this is a part that's kind of like the baseline in a song. You don't notice how much it's so important to the story.
But there's a lot. Yeah.
Great point.
Yeah.
I like
and
that.
it drives it along and it keeps the pacing right. Because like you were saying, Sam, it was like we were getting thrown around and getting whiplash for a while there. And this is like, okay, settle in and buckle up.
And here's the plot for this book.
Right.
Yeah.
It's finally like, this is what we're going to do here.
Which is so
book.
funny. That happens in so many of these books that it's just absolute chaos. And then like, okay, here's what's actually happening now.
Right.
Yeah.
Like this is the main point.
Which I'm not complaining about because I need something to suck me in.
Yeah.
So if it's just to suck, like fine, great. And then, all right, let's start the story now. Like I'm in.
Does it happen in every book? I mean, in Red Rising, you start, this is a mind book, and it's like, no, it's not.
No, yes and no, because we also that doesn't really suck you in. That's hard to get over.
No, but I'm more just saying the idea that like the first, like, I don't know how much of the book is not the
Third.
story at all.
Yeah.
You know, the first part of Red Rising is not the story at all. The first part of Golden Sun is all about the academy, and that's not the story at all. And then here, I think it kind of happens a little bit in every book, and I think it's really fun.
It's good. It's like K-dramas where like, you know, the first part is exciting and then the middle sets up the story and then they leave you on a cliffhanger. So you really could watch like to the middles of each episode so that you don't binge too much. No one else. Yeah. Anyway, this was a good episode, y'all. We'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you.
See you. Adios. Bye.
Hey, thanks for talking politics with us. Next episode, the talking stops. Darrow springs his trap on the Sword Armada. Claw drills meet Hull, and we have to say goodbye to someone we spent 2 whole seasons arguing about. It's a big, brutal, morally devastating one, and we'll need a minute afterward. If you're Pierce Brown or anyone else with opinions about our opinions, email us at thehowlerbookclub@gmail.com or find us on Instagram @RedRisingBookClub.